Hello everyone, I am Julian Morris with the Channel 5 News. In the headlines, Social Security Board and the government to consider income support for workers whose jobs have been affected by COVID-19. The coronavirus jolts the dive sector into survival mode, and fire stations introduce measures to protect their frontline workers in this current health crisis. The details coming up.
Avec Flow, animé on top up, sign up, quittez yo, every video join Flow. It only gets better with Flow.
Flow terms and conditions apply.
Flow helps you stay connected to what matters. Simple plans and a better network mean that you can enjoy 7 days of unlimited social messaging, 3 gigabytes of reliable data to use as you like, 700 local anywhere calls and texts with the always-on prepaid plan, all for $29. Keep your number when you switch to Dominica's most reliable LTE network. Buy wherever you top up. Switch to Flow. It only gets better.
Si ou ni maladie HIV et bien maladie sexuelle, si ou pas protéger corps lors qu'on est sexe avec plusieurs monde, ça peut mettre la vie en gros danger. Ou peut exposer tout partenaire au poison et que tant qu'il va venir avec maladie. Servez un condom chaque fois ou qu'on est sexe. Changer qui est important pour découvrir maladie à bonheur ou ça vivre en bonne santé même si ou ni maladie HIV. Pour responsabilité, protéger corps et puis les autres. Examiner corps. Aidez de bout si même maladie HIV et l'autre maladie sexuelle.
When you feel a sneeze or a cough coming, covering your mouth prevents the spread of germs. You probably knew that. But the way you cover up also matters, and that means breaking a habit you've held near and dear all your life. Cover your nose and mouth with your flexed elbow or a tissue, not your hands. Discard the used tissue immediately. Then wash your hands. Help stop the spread of germs. Remember, your health is your responsibility.
A message by the Health Promotion Unit of the Ministry of Health, Wellness and New Health Investment, Dominica.
A new in-home experience is here. All your services bundled into one simple plan. Faster, more reliable Wi-Fi so that you can binge, play, and stream uninterrupted. Unlimited Flow local landline minutes mean you can talk and talk and talk. Plus the best in TV entertainment with over 120 channels and 29 in HD. All for $160 a month with the new all-in bundle. With Flow, it only gets better.
Giving away $30,000 in cash, 2 bags of money plus $1,000 every Friday.
We're flowing better every day, and now we're making parties great. That's 3 ways that you can play. So listen up.
Top up.
$10 or more.
Sign up.
Just switch to Flow.
Get a plan.
1 gig or more. If you want to win cash galore.
With Flow.
Win a bag of money.
Cash out.
Get a bag of money. What you gonna do with a bag of money? From Flow.
So top up, get a plan, or switch now to win. It only gets better with Flow.
Flow terms and conditions apply.
First up in the news, Dominica's Social Security to explore the possibility of providing limited income support for employees whose jobs have been affected by COVID-19. Low occupancy levels in the hospitality industry due to cancellations in hotel reservations could lead to loss of income for employees in that sector. Social Security is looking at ways of cushioning the impact on these people's livelihoods, even if it's in a limited way.
These persons, their workplaces would probably be operating very minimally and therefore would not be able to keep all of them at work. Some of them may have been laid off. Some of them might have been asked to take their vacation leave. And if they take vacation leave, the employer is responsible for paying them. Some of them might just be laid off because there is no activity taking place for now. They have not made them redundant, but because of the situation, we have to suspend operations for a while. And these are the ones, I guess, that are more of concern, what is going to happen to them. I want to say that the Social Security does not currently provide what is referred to as unemployment benefit, which is something that a person like that would be entitled to. But we recognize that these times are extraordinary times, the situations are different. And so as the main pillar of Dominica's social protection system, as an institution, we have been contemplating what support we can provide to persons who might find themselves in that situation. And in fact, a lot of the private sector employers, Employers Federation, DEIC, Hotel and Tourism Association, everybody is calling to find out what provisions are in place. But to say that the existing provisions are really the sickness benefit provisions. But in addition to that, we are now looking to see if and how, to what extent we might be able to provide some level of support, albeit limited, to those persons whose work might be affected because of COVID-19.
The proposal must be approved by Social Security Board and government before the details can be made public.
Everything we do at Social Security is done in accordance with legislation. And for us to be able to entertain that payment to those persons who have been displaced as a result of COVID, not medically certified to be sick, not made redundant in the strict sense of the word, but who have been out of work and therefore will not be able to get their salary, what level of support we can provide. But that is not something that is provided for in law currently. We're just looking to see how we can offer some level of support, and it will be a limited level of support. The final details of that will be communicated once that is finalized.
Etienne says anyone who is quarantined or isolated due to COVID-19 would also qualify for sickness benefit. Dominica goes into lockdown this weekend from 6 p.m. on Friday to 6 a.m. on Monday. During this time, citizens should not be out in public except provide or access essential services. The curfew, which went into effect on Wednesday, 1st April, is part of government's measures to enforce social distancing guidelines and minimize the spread of COVID-19. Prime Minister Skerrit says the idea is to strike a balance, ensuring that citizens who require essential services can have access while simultaneously limiting their exposure.
We understand that we have to try to facilitate the public in certain aspects, but also manage how much time we as the citizens and residents spend out. So we know people have to go out to buy food, to buy groceries, and we will allow them during the week to do so. So you can go to do your fishing, bring your fish in, sell your fish. You can go in and check your animals, go in, check your animals, go back home. Banking services will continue. Obviously, the banks have also, based on consultation with the Ministry of Finance, have agreed, the financial institutions have agreed on certain protocols that they will follow where banking is concerned. They will minimize people coming in and to use more online services, etc. They have articulated this in the public announcements and so forth, which is all in keeping with the whole approach of social distancing.
The current curfew order runs until the 20th of April from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday to Friday. The curfew continues from 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. the next day. Essential services such as banks, credit unions, wholesale or retail grocery stores, village shops, supermarkets, mini-marts, commercial bakeries and petrol stations can only be open between 6 a.m. and 2 p.m. Monday to Friday. Pharmacies may open between the hours of 6 a.m. and 4 p.m. Monday to Friday. A move to survival mode is how one dive operator is describing the impact of COVID-19 on his business. Proprietor of Nature Island Dive says the pandemic has caused a virtual wipeout on his calendar of activities.
In about 3 weeks, we erased every single piece of business that we had booked for the coming year. So we had some bookings, quite a lot of bookings in April, May, June, a little bit in July, August, and then we didn't really have anything for September, October, but by November we were seeing some bookings. Everything up until, including some of the stuff in November, has been cancelled. So we literally have not one single piece of business left. So pretty quickly we have tried to go into survival mode when you're looking at minimum 6 months with no income, but you still have staff you need to take care of. You still have a team that you need to make sure your team is safe and able to take care of themselves. So it's a lot of responsibility on the business owners in tourism now on how do we survive this time.
Unlike Hurricane Maria, the COVID-19 pandemic is affecting every country, and the hope of assistance from the global community is slim.
And unlike Maria, we're not the only ones being affected. So Maria, we had some regional partners like Puerto Rico and St. Martin that were affected by the hurricane, but now everybody. So if you look at the dive industry shut down. And I can't tell you how much the dive industry after Maria stepped in to help out Dominica. They sent a lot of our divers sent care packages and sent barrels down for the dive masters and instructors working in dive shops and the boat captains. The dive industry donated funds and donated things to try and help rebuild. We had massive support from just the dive industry in the United States, and that's not going to happen now because everybody in Florida is shut down, everybody in California is shut down, everybody in Colorado is shut down, and so nobody has any income. So this is a worldwide situation, and we really can't be sitting here waiting for too much relief.
In addition to helping staff with an early payment of salaries, Walsh is also recommending alternative means of survival for the foreseeable future.
We've talked about farming. I mean, it sounds crazy in some ways that one day we're taking divers out, and now we're going back to the roots. We're lucky in Dominica, even when we're here on lockdown, we can still go for a swim in the sea or go fishing, so we have some, we have ways we can survive by farming and fishing, and I legitimately think these are things that we have to look at because we simply don't know what's going to be happening and we don't have any work. So we can't sit around and do nothing. We have to actively try and take care of ourselves.
And efforts towards intra-regional trade intensify amid the COVID-19 situation in the region. Here is Andrea Louis with more.
This was the result of the BVI Commerce and Trade Symposium held with the Network of Caribbean Chambers, CARICHAM, earlier this week. Chairperson of CARICHAM, Lesra Fabian, who is also Executive Director of the Dominica Association of Industry and Commerce, DAIC, says this forum served to highlight the capacity of businesses to meet regional demand for products and services.
The objectives of this symposium were to obtain a broad overview of the demands and capabilities of the business sector in the region with respect to trade, as well as to identify obstacles to intra-regional trade and recommend solutions, which would include the logistics and legislative issues, and finally to create a foundation to increase networking among members of the business sector of the various countries in our region. So business and trade opportunities were identified, and we also spoke about issues relating to shipping, logistics, and the regulatory framework were also reflected on.
The symposium also provided an avenue for members to look at non-traditional solutions to economic development, which is now more important due to the COVID-19 outbreak.
As part of CARICHAM's key pillars, transportation, trade promotion, and facilitation is one of these key pillars, and this symposium also focused on this. We were quite happy that our thoughts were aligned with the BVI, the Premier, who was quite visionary in ensuring that we could come together as a region to focus on these key issues. And we're encouraged because now that COVID-19 is so rampant and it's spreading so rapidly across the Caribbean region, it provided an opportunity for us to discuss how we can meet the needs of our region.
The Premier of the British Virgin Islands that CARICHAM members will see short-term win from this week's forum.
The symposium concluded with a commitment by the Premier of the BVI, Premier Andrew Fahy, to follow up on actions to ensure that we can have short-term wins from this engagement. We saw that a number of countries indicated products and services that they have to export to support the region. And we saw from the BVI there are some key products which are desired across the region. And since then, we have connected our members to be able to access these opportunities.
You are watching Channel 5 News. We'll have more after this.
A new in-home experience is here. All your services bundled into one simple plan. Faster, more reliable Wi-Fi so that you can binge, play, and stream uninterrupted. Unlimited flow local landline minutes mean you can talk and talk and talk. plus the best in TV entertainment with over 120 channels and 29 in HD, all for $160 a month with the new all-in bundle. With Flow, it only gets better.
When you feel a sneeze or a cough coming, covering your mouth prevents the spread of germs. You probably knew that. But the way you cover up also matters, and that means breaking a habit you've held near and dear all your life. Cover your nose and mouth with your flexed elbow or a tissue, not your hands. Discard the used tissue immediately. Then wash your hands. Help stop the spread of germs. Remember, your health is your responsibility.
A message by the Health Promotion Unit of the Ministry of Health, Wellness and New Health Investment, Dominica.
Avec Flow, gagnez l'argent, on partit l'argent avec Flow. Gagnez l'argent, on gros sac l'argent. C'est juste ça pour gagner un gros sac l'argent avec Flow. Animez on top up, sign up, quittez yo, et venez joindre Flow. It only gets better with Flow.
Flow terms and conditions apply.
Les moun qui ni TB estene et ben tout c'est, moun qui en bonne santé oli ouin ka respirer ces vermine là. Moun qui pa ni bon tempérament, kon sa ki ni maladie HIV, alcool, ka fumer, ti mamay et grand moun bien sensible pour ces maladies ça là. Moun qui ka tousse ni pour prendre précaution les yo en parmi moun en place publique, couvert bouche ou le ka estene et tousse. Visitez docteur et ben place santé. Fini tout traitement yo ba ou sa joine guérison et puis maladie TB. En responsabilité ou aider du bout de sime maladie TB et HIV, protéger corps et les autres.
With Flow, when I bag of money, cash out. Get a bag of money. What you gonna do with a bag of money? Yeah. From Flow.
Yo, check this. Flow is giving away $30,000 in cash.
Oh, yeah.
2 bags of money plus $1,000 every Friday.
With Flow is better every day, and now we're making Fridays great. That's 3 ways that you can play. So listen up.
Top up,
$10 or more.
sign up,
Just switch to Flow.
get a plan.
1 gig or more. If you wanna win cash galore.
With Flow,
Win a bag of money.
cash out.
Get a bag of money. What you gonna do with a bag of money? Yeah. From Flow.
So top up, get a plan, or switch now to win. It only gets better with Flow.
Flow terms and conditions apply.
Flow helps you stay connected to what matters. Simple plans and a better network mean that you can enjoy 7 days of unlimited social messaging, 3 gigabytes of reliable data to use as you like, 700 local anywhere calls and texts, with the always-on prepaid plan, all for $29. Keep your number when you switch to Dominica's most reliable LTE network. Buy wherever you top up. Switch to Flow. It only gets better.
Thank you for staying with us. A series of new measures in place at fire stations across the country to further protect frontline workers in this COVID-19 crisis. Here's Andrea Louis with more.
Members of the Fire and Ambulance Service fall in the category of essential services and frontline workers, as they are responsible for, among other things, responding to and transporting individuals associated with a COVID-19 call. Chief Fire Officer Josiah Dupie says one of the new measures is the more detailed screening of phone calls from individuals who request ambulance service.
We would not previously be asking about travel history, but we have taken that on board as part of our protocol. We would always ask what is the illness or manifestation of illness or illnesses. And of course, these days there are certain conditions or symptoms that would raise a red flag. We have taken a position also that if the caller is not willing to give us the kind of information that we want, that would really help us in determining our mode of response. We would announce to the caller that they are actually forfeiting the right to a service that is available to them. And we need to do that to protect ourselves.
Another new measure which fire officers have taken on board is the more secure dress code when responding to a potential COVID-19 call.
When it comes to the COVID response, this goes extreme. They are wearing the double glove, they are wearing face mask, They are wearing some sort of hood to protect their head, neck. They are also wearing a gown or a coverall, approved gown or coverall, which goes over their normal uniform. They are wearing some sort of covering over their shoe. Likewise, some of the gowns are designed that they step into it.
In addition to screening phone calls and more protective gear, all fire stations except one has a separate ambulance for reporting to COVID-19 calls. These ambulances go through a thorough cleaning procedure in specified ambulance bays after each call.
At most of our stations, we now have one ambulance which is dedicated to COVID response. That wasn't the case before. And we have an ambulance which is dedicated to the average response. So we don't mix as much as possible. We do not have any ambulance respond to the COVID cases. So we do decontamination. As prescribed by PAHO, as described by the WHO, as prescribed by the Ministry of Health. And after decontamination, we move the ambulance slightly off from where we do the decontamination, and then we do sanitization after every call.
Other measures include increased sanitization stations on the compound where visitors and staff are expected to wash their hands with soap and water upon entering the premises, use a paper towel to dry their hands, and dispose of that towel in a bin. Andrea Louis, Channel 5 News.
And church life for believers across the globe has changed drastically due to COVID-19. Under the current curfew order in Dominica, all religious and educational places of instruction or worship shall remain closed to the general public other than for weddings or funerals. No more than 10 immediate family members can now attend funerals. However, church services or mass can be held by electronic or virtual means, that is, by radio, television, or online. No one shall host or attend a wedding which hosts 5 or more people other than the bride, bridegroom, official witness, and the marriage officer. A meeting of a fraternal society, private or social club or civic association or organization is also forbidden.
A new in-home experience is here. All your services bundled into one simple plan. Faster, more reliable Wi-Fi so that you can binge, play, and stream uninterrupted. Unlimited Flow local landline minutes mean you can talk and talk and talk. Plus the best in TV entertainment with over 120 channels and 29 in HD, all for $160 a month with the new all-in bundle. With Flow, it only gets better.
With Flow, when I bag our money, cash out, get a bag of money. What you gonna do with a bag of money? Yeah. From Flow.
Yo, check this. Flow is giving away $30,000 in cash.
Oh, yeah.
2 bags of money plus $1,000 every Friday.
With Flow is better every day, and now we're making parties great. That's 3 ways that you can play. So listen up.
Top up.
$10 more.
Sign up.
Just switch to Flow.
Get a plan.
1 gig or more. If you wanna win cash galore.
With Flow.
Win a bag of money.
Cash out.
Get a bag of money. What you gonna do with a bag of money? Yeah. From Flow.
So top up, get a plan, or switch now to win. It only gets better with Flow.
Flow terms and conditions apply.
Here are some tips to reduce mosquito presence in and around your home. Keep water storage containers properly covered. Remove containers that can collect water from your surroundings. Keep garbage bins tightly covered. Pick up your litter and remove all tires from your yard. Keep gutters free of leaves and twigs to prevent stagnant water. Prevent Zika, dengue, and chikungunya. Fight the bite. This is a public service announcement from the Dominica Red Cross.
This message is supported by Flow.
Flow helps you stay connected to what matters. Simple plans and a better network mean that you can enjoy 7 days of unlimited social messaging, 3 gigabytes of reliable data to use as you like, 700 local anywhere calls and texts with the always-on prepaid plan, all for $29. Keep your number when you switch to Dominica's most reliable LTE network. Buy wherever you top up. Switch to Flow. It only gets better.
Avec Flow, gagnez l'argent, on partit l'argent avec Flow. Gagnez l'argent, on gros sac l'argent. C'est juste ça pour gagner un gros sac l'argent avec Flow. Animez on top up, sign up, quittez yo, et venez joindre Flow. It only gets better with Flow.
Flow terms and conditions apply.
To end the news, a look again at the headlines. Social Security Board and government to consider income support for workers whose jobs have been affected by COVID-19. The coronavirus jolts the dive sector into survival mode. And fire stations introduce measures to protect their frontline workers in the current health crisis. You may access the news on our YouTube channel. On behalf of the production team, I am Julian Morris. Thank you for watching. Be safe this weekend.